Good morning, boys and girls. It is Miss Ashley here. And as you can see, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about virtual schools. You will be in virtual schools mode for the next few days. And this video is going to give you some really great tips and tricks about how to be a great virtual learner. So, when we're watching videos that teach us things, it's really important that we have a note. Like a notepad or a paper to write on and something to write with so that we can pause the video and write down important things. I'm going to be giving you some tips on some things that you might want to write down today. But for now, why don't you take a minute, pause the video, make sure that your learning space has something that you will write on and something to write with. All right. I hope you're back with me and you are ready to take some notes. So let's look at some of the important things that you'll need to know around virtual schools. The first thing you may be interested in is what's going on. Right now, it is Thursday, and you've been notified that your class will be quarantining. That means that this day is just for you to prepare at home. Your parents will be in some meetings. You're in this meeting via video with me, and you'll be having some chores in the house to get yourself ready for tomorrow, which is when you will start your virtual school. So today you will not have class like normal, but you will have class starting tomorrow, and you'll have all your classes. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So today you might be writing down that today is to prepare yourself at home for virtual schools. Then you have Saturday and Sunday where you will not have to come to virtual schools, but you'll have to kind of remember some of the healthy habits we talked about when we are in a quarantine. And then on Monday, you'll have virtual schools again, as well as Tuesday. All right, Wednesday's a funny day because your parents will actually be attending parent-teacher conferences, so they'll have some virtual meetings with your teachers. You will not have school that day. And then Thursday and Friday, you will continue with virtual schools, and Saturday will be your last day of quarantine. That will be day 10. So you will return on the next Monday with us. All right? So you can make a note and make sure that you know that when you will be returning to school will be Monday, November 23rd. So I'm just going to write that down. Monday, November 23rd. So what will your day look like when you are in quarantine? All right. So your day is going to be the same as it would be here at school, which will be really great for you guys. So you will have a virtual learning plan where you will be able to go through and make sure that you are following along with the day as you would at school. So what is your job? Your job is to use this virtual learning plan to guide your day. All right. You will attend all classes with your teacher via a Google Meet. All right. So it might be really important to write down the word virtual learning plan right now. You don't have to write anything else next to it. We're going to be talking about what is a virtual learning plan and how do we use it and where do we get it. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Miss Ashley, you came to our class and we practiced this. That is correct. We did practice this, but I want you to practice it now and go through it with me one more time. So, how do we use this virtual learning plan? The first thing that you'll have to do is check your daily schedule and think, what classes do I have today? That will help you get ready. So if it's Friday, day 2, you'll look through all the classes that you would normally have here at school, and you will have those virtually. On this virtual learning plan, you can see that it's a day 2, which is Friday, tomorrow, November 13th. And then the next day on there is Monday, and then it's Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday, which on your plan won't have any classes because we don't have school on Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. All right, so you're going to check your schedule every day to see what classes that you need to go to. Then on the top of the virtual learning plan, you'll see all the links to your classes. Okay, so Miss Cheryl is first because I think a lot of the classes you'll have with Miss Cheryl. You can always use the same link for Miss Cheryl. Then, if you have to go to, let's say, Spanish, you'd find your Spanish teacher and click on their link to meet them there. All right. Below on the second page of the virtual learning plan will give you an idea of what that class is going to look like. For example, in reading, it might say, we will analyze character traits. And we know that our teachers usually give us a little mini lesson around what does it mean and how do we analyze character traits. Then they'll have some information about what will you do at home. And if there are any small groups, I know that your teachers like to pull you in small groups, they'll let you know who's being pulled in at what time. Your specialists like PE, music, or art, or language classes will work the same. Okay, so your job will be to scroll down to the second page on the virtual learning plan and look for the we will, you will, and if you are in a small group. Okay, so next to virtual learning, where you wrote virtual learning plan, you might write to check that every day so you know what classes you have. So, where do we get that virtual learning plan? This will be important to write down. You can write down the word seesaw. You can see how it's spelled here. Virtual learning plan will be in Seesaw. So you probably have your Chromebook or another device at home. You'll go to Seesaw either at web.seesaw.me or with the app Seesaw. And you'll look in the inbox. Remember, the inbox is where your teacher and you will be writing back and forth. So your teacher is basically going to send you their messages there. In there, you will see the virtual learning plan for the day. And the best way is to view that in a Google Doc. When you view it in a Google Doc, as the teacher updates it, so does the virtual learning plan. Okay? So you might see the work for Friday, and then you have to look at the Google Doc again on Monday to see the next plan. All right? So in Seesaw, your job is to go there and read your inbox and find the learning plan, just like we did at school together when we practiced this. Remember that on the virtual learning plan, there will be a link. When you hover over it, you'll be able to click on it and it will open the Google Meet. Now remember, for listening in on a Google Meet, you'll want to have your headphones and be in a quiet space in your house. All right? Going to the classes is mandatory. All right? We take attendance to see who's coming to school at home, just like we take attendance to see who's coming to school here at school. Okay? So you do have to go and meet your teachers in all your classes. Remember the Google Meet rules, which is enter with your microphone muted. There might be people already talking. If you come in 1 or 2 minutes late to the meeting, there'll definitely be some classes going on, and you want to make sure that you are muted so that you don't interrupt. Just like we wouldn't come in the classroom screaming. All right, we want to make sure that we respect the learning environment. We're asking you to make sure that your camera is on. If you're having a hard time getting your camera on, you should talk with a parent or an older sibling at home, or even you can contact ASB's help desk. Make sure your camera's on so that you can connect with your classmates. Seeing their face is going to help you connect with them. And seeing your teacher's face is also going to help you connect with them. We also, as teachers, are always scanning the room to make sure that students are understanding. And when your face looks like this, we might think, I better slow down and reintroduce that idea to the students. So it is really important that you have your camera turned on. Listen to your teacher's instructions and watch their screen. Your teacher may call on you, so be ready and listening. Some things that can distract us from this is maybe chatting on the side. So make sure that when your teacher's teaching, you're not chatting. They may even turn off the chat box to avoid that from happening. All right. We know that in a Google Meet, when someone's presenting their screen, it goes really big. Make sure that you are looking at the screen that's being presented instead of going through and looking at your friends' faces. You'll have time to connect with them in small groups. And if your teacher calls on you, be ready. Practice unmuting and muting your microphone so that everybody can see and hear you. Okay, just like in class, when someone raises their hand to talk, we all look at them with our eyes and we let them speak. So, we are going to have the same routine. Like you come to school, you come up the stairs or up the ramp, you go into the classroom, and you'll start your homeroom. Maybe your homeroom is 5C, maybe it's something else, but you are going to be in your homeroom Google Meet right away at 9 a.m. That's how you're going to start the day with your teacher. You're going to read through your daily schedule as you normally would. These are the classes that we have today. You'll connect together, maybe get to play a game. And if you have any questions about virtual schools, this will be a great time to ask your homeroom teacher. So at 9 a.m., let's write a note on our notebook that we have to start by going into our first meeting with your homeroom teacher. Did you write that down? 9 a.m. in your homeroom class. Okay. We're going to use 3 main tech programs. You're going to say, Miss Ashley, we're very familiar with these, I'm sure. Seesaw. That's the first program that you access every day to get your daily learning plan or the virtual learning plan. I think you have written down in your notes. And you've probably written down Seesaw. So maybe you just want to underline that or circle it. You're going to join your virtual classes with what's that icon? If you're screaming Google Meet, yes, it is Google Meets. So you have your daily learning plan, you get the link to go to the Google Meet. Your teacher will be giving you instructions there. And I'm guessing that if you're in fourth or fifth grade, they're going to tell you to go to Google Classroom to access a document or to turn in all of your work. If you're in first, second, or third grade, they're not going to ask you to go to Google Classroom. They'll just say, go to Seesaw for all of our activities. Here are some tips for Google Classroom. Okay. Google Classroom will be the most important tool that you use to give and get different documents. Google Meets will be how you see your teacher. But in Google Classroom, make sure you're checking the assignments for each class and that you read the directions. Often it's tempting to see something and not understand it, and then to just maybe Google Chat a friend or Google Chat the teacher or write an email to ask, what are the directions? They're always going to be the written directions in Google Classroom for you. So make sure you read those directions 1, 2, or even 3 times. There's a to-do list in Google Classroom that you can use to make sure you're done with all the work that's been assigned. And for everything, make sure you read what will be the evidence. Do they want me to add a photo, a document? Okay. And then make sure that you turn that in and mark as done when you're done with that. So when you connect with your teachers, they might be saying things like, for math class, I want you to go to Google Classroom and do this, this, and this. Your job will be to go to Google Classroom, read the directions again fully, and then do the 3 things that they've asked you to do and turn it in when you are done. You can say mark as done. A lot of virtual learners are successful when they keep their routine. So wake up for school at the normal time as you would regularly when you're coming to school, okay? Keep your routine. If you shower at night, make sure you take a bath or shower at night, and then you're ready for the morning. You're going to attend all your normal classes just like you were here at school. Things that might look different are recess breaks where you might be doing a PE or movement challenge from Mr. Ivan or Mr. Teo. And lunch, you'll be having, of course, at home, making sure that you're having another movement break. And in the afternoon, another movement break. We need to make sure that we are taking some breaks from the screen as well. Start your online day organizing yourself. Okay, so that would be check Seesaw to see your virtual learning plan schedule for the day. Check your Google Classroom to make sure you've turned in all the assignments. And when you normally would leave for school, maybe on the bus or walking, that's a good time to start getting organized. So maybe you usually leave for school at 8:30. At 8:30, that's when you could maybe log in, check Seesaw, make sure you know the plan for the day so you're not late or missing anything. Now, setting home your learning environment is your job for today. So I want you to make sure you have your pen ready because this is your job today that I would like you to do. Okay, so today is your practice and your prep day to get organized. The first thing you need to do is set up your learning space. So you need to organize an area, make sure that it's comfortable, and make sure that it's clear from clutter, that it has good lighting, and a place for you to charge your device. Okay? Try and make it outside of your bedroom. We can associate our bedroom with our relaxing time, that there's no screen time in there. It's a place for us to relax, probably reading and getting ready for bed. When you're at school, even virtual school, we want you to have a space that's outside of your bedroom where there's lighting. So you might write down good lighting, that it's clean, so no clutter, and also has a place for you to charge. Okay. You might want to get yourself with your notebooks and your pens ready, and even really important, your water bottle. Okay. So get your learning space ready today. I also want you to think about your healthy habits. All right. You're going to continue to eat healthy and balanced meals. And you're going to make sure that you are taking some mindful screen breaks. Your teachers are not going to have you log in for the whole class period. They might ask you to do something that's not even on the computer for class. Okay, they might say, your job right now for math is to do an activity with objects in your house. And then you'll have to take a picture to put it in Google Classroom. But we don't want you on the screen at this time. Also, I want you to think of a balance in your life. If you're using the screen for virtual schools at home, your downtime may not include the screen. Okay, so you might go instead of to a activity that's digital for your downtime or reading a digital book in your downtime, you might choose something that's actually physical. So maybe you'll choose to play a game, okay, that's not with a device, or to read that's not on a device. And the last healthy habit is to make sure that you're completing the PE challenges every day. All right, making sure that you're moving and get your body moving. We know that when we exercise our body, it helps our brain get ready for learning as well. And the last tip that we're going to give you today is to make sure that you have a support group, okay? So, of course, your pod, your class, your homeroom group is going to be your support group. But you might also think of a learning buddy. And you can talk to your parents about how might you connect with your classmates outside of school as well, okay? To make sure that you're still staying connected. And think of somebody that in class you can ask them important questions when you're not sure. So maybe you could connect with them and maybe do homework together or even just ask questions via the GChat. If you have any trouble, you can always reach out, of course, to our school counselor, Miss Heather, or your homeroom teacher. If you feel stressed, that you're not connecting, that you're just lost and you don't know what to do, please reach out to your homeroom teacher and to Miss Heather. If you have any tech problems, you can check with your teacher for directions, of course, but they're not going to know how to help you fix your device. If you need help with a tech question, we want you to email helpdesk@asbarcelona.com. That will give a ticket to our help desk, okay? And we'll say, so and so's having trouble with their headphones. So and so's camera doesn't work on Google Meet. And then they'll find the best person to connect with you, okay? If you have problems with Seesaw, you might even get connected to Miss Ashley. If you're having problems with Google Classroom, they'll probably tell, hey, Miss Ashley, connect with this student, all right? So these are your tips for the day. I'm wondering what you wrote down on your note cards, on your notes. So you probably wrote down something about your virtual learning plan and it checked that on Seesaw. And I hope that you wrote down today's job is to really get your home learning space ready and make a plan for the learning space, your healthy habits, and how you will have a support group during this time. We can't wait to see you in virtual schools, and we can't wait to see you back at school after your 10-day quarantine. Have a great day, and we look forward to welcoming you to your virtual classes.